you would agree that it looks like two different teams, game 1 to game 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one's game 3. That's not the one that I want. I do really want to start with game 1.
Yeah.
I think for you in particular, right? Like everybody has like different games, I think, where they're going to learn the most. For you in particular, it's actually game 1.
Yep.
This is
When to
not
group
game.
it. I looked a lot at that. When to group and when to
Yeah.
collect.
It's this way.
I am gonna do some gaming at the same time, but I'm here on voice and I can pause
You're
this with
fine.
you if you want to look at something
Yeah.
specific. I'm a few years late on this, but I finally got into Outer Wilds, and it is living up to the hype.
Nice.
Did you ever play it?
Nope.
It's a very unique, kind of strange game, but it's very cool. Outer Wilds not to be confused with Outer Worlds, which is very different.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
There's the anime sounds in the background.
Yep. Okay. Right.
Minions have spawned.
This Tristana pick worked really good pick here.
I don't know. He did not do in lane what he was supposed to. It didn't feel to me that was not a Tristana pick thing. That was entirely a bot lane didn't back off when I called the roams thing, which that's from my perspective. But he was not pressuring me at all. He let me.
No, I agree. He was shoving and roaming, right? Which is not.
He wasn't even. He wasn't even really hard shoving too much.
It's the natural Tristana shove. It's the like. This is. I love Puffin, and I will tell him this. You know.
Yeah.
In the same way that I will say it about Dan, if Dan was here, right?
Yeah.
There's a level that you can get to where you can just maintain your skills and play whatever, and you play whatever kind of the same, right? I think you've played against Puffin enough that, like, he doesn't feel too different on any pick outside of, like, maybe the Rumble.
I would say he feels very different depending on the pick. There's a wide spectrum.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I would say almost.
Some players that have a wide.
Sorry, wait. We talking about Dan? We talking about Dan or Puffin? Because when you say Rumble,
we're talking about Puffin.
Okay.
We're talking about Puffin.
Yeah, because I would say it's a spectrum.
There's some things that are better, but a lot of it, he can play most things at this level.
Yeah, I think what I was saying is the Tristana did not feel like playing against someone that knows how to play Tristana. I've played against Tristana mids that know Tristana. It is a completely different experience. It makes you want to. The way I described it last time was, if they don't kill me, I'm going to kill myself.
Yep.
That was not what it felt like here.
I understand. I can understand that completely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, question for you.
Yes.
Because I've watched you do this twice now. Are you going? So like you've walked up for this ward.
Swap over.
Let me pause and pull out my other program. But this ward right here. Like, I've seen you dip away from the wave twice, and is it for this particular ward, and why this particular ward?
Because when I have a bit of tempo, but not enough, for like a roam or something, especially if I'm a Veigar, I'm not really a roaming side lane killer. I want to get out. I want to do something, so I want to go ahead and put a nice bit of vision control ward, especially there. That'll spot if enemy junglers coming up for the crabs or something.
I guess that's fair.
Because that's
I guess
3:30 is about game timing. I want to have a ward here. Actually, I mean, ideally, up on the shoulder is the best.
yeah,
Right
right
game
here.
ward, but I don't have enough tempo to get all the way out
The
there.
other
That's kind of
spot, this is the other thing that you can do, right? So given where you're at, and this is this is actually a small thing, right? Instead of going for this ward, right? Because ideally we know where they start, right? Instead of going for this ward and taking all of this time away, I think you miss a couple minions as a result of this. So like if you look at it, you get that, you're gonna dip here, right? Let's count here. He has a freeze on you too, but he breaks it.
It's a Tristana.
You only lose one here. That's one that you're not even in XP range for.
Yeah. Yeah, but here I do see the Maokai.
Yeah, what I was gonna say though is you could just drop it right here and play to this side of the lane, right? So rather than play up there, like you can infer in a lot of ways that they start bot, right? So he's gonna path top. Like this protects you still, and you can play on this side and be there a little, like it's an option. I'll put it like that.
What I like to do is I like to put my yellow ward on the top side and my control ward on the bottom side on the near bush. Is usually why I do it that way. That's kind of my habit there.
Oh,
I put yellow ward in the pixel brush and then pink ward in kind of the half banana brush on the bot side. So I have
this one right here.
Yes, that's.
I like a control ward here on both sides, whether I'm red side or blue. I really like a control ward there.
Yeah.
The one thing with the control ward here is that they can come straight up the river. And like
control word is usually more about anti-invade, especially in a matchup like this where Tristana is going to have heavy prio. That's what. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to get Epic Pen started, and I didn't actually finish the setup. So I'm looking at that in the other window.
Also, in this scenario where we know the Maokai's come top, I think we want to be able to potentially see him up there, see what he's doing. Is he coming towards me?
I understand your logic. Like, I don't do it that way, and that's fine. It's a small thing. I think that, like, from a vision coverage end, right? Gosh darn it. Don't want to buy it. I want the free version. You're good to go back gaming. Right.
Cool.
I absolutely see what you mean, where he could have been pressuring way more. Especially right here. Now that he has Noon Quiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most Tristanas will make you feel like you will die if you take 3 steps the wrong direction.
Yep. And it's unpleasant for Vhagar because, like, you have to line your shit up perfectly.
Blood.
Yeah.
That top lane kill right there was just unfortunate. Like, if
Oh,
this...
the one under tower.
No, this... If you didn't see this,
Yeah.
this is so, like...
Oh, the one where he came out of the belly.
This
just
is
timed
so
all-
close to first blood. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if this tower shot hits,
Yeah.
Hexane's dead. Like, that's how close it is. We're talking, like, a second and a half, maybe, difference. In
Not
first
even.
blood.
That's half a second.
Yeah. That's how close first blood is there. So this is the one that I wanted to look at, is because it just, like, the first 3 Drakes, or the first two Drakes, y'all just give up completely. And I know in-game we talked about, like, the fact that y'all can fight. So...
I think it's just one of those ones where we just lost track of the timer. We're like, oh, we don't have position. We're trying to stick to the if it's wishy-washy, don't do it rule.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that there's a logical chain of how you get to places. So it's not like... Yeah. This makes sense. And Dean, what he does is he goes and grabs the rift. Like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Dean seems to prefer playing around rifts anyway.
which I think is a fine thing. Like, in general, from, like, a scaling perspective, if you play around the early rifts, right? You can funnel gold into people through cracking plates, and you can gain a lot from it. Like, your rift play in game 2 was game 3 was such a huge reason why the game was able to last as long as it was and threw them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, taking taking like territory the way that y'all did gives you a buffer of safety.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's gonna kill this wave and move down. Yep, we see it. Yeah, they don't respect this.
Yeah, like, and we see him on here again, and even after he's down here, so they get out, and they initially the Ralph for dead, and then, which is fine, but then Dean goes in anyway into what is basically a 2v4.
Yep. And the return is okay on Mina, but, like, if we look at this with God mode, right? Or actually, let's look at this from their perspective, right? Let's back up 30 seconds. Oh, perhaps even more. So it's not even just like a Tristana roam. It's a full man. And this is, to me, really, this is just not respecting the threat. Right? Look at where we are. Like, I understand that the wave is fucked. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look at where their wave is, it's unpleasant. You know, they're being backed off a wave. This potentially gives a freeze, but it's like, we see it. Wingman is communicating this, right?
Yeah. We need to let the wave be fucked there so that we don't give over
We
to
need to let the wave be fucked, right? Like, so, like, let's look at where it is when Tristana leaves, right? Like, this is where we see Tristana leave, right? The wave is gonna go, right? They're fighting. This makes sense. This is why they're coming, right? If we think about it and look at how this wave is and what has just happened, right?
Yeah.
This is why. Now, I think, what is Wing? What are you backing for here? Is it for just another component, or are you completing the full Roa? Let me look.
Not sure.
You're
It
close.
It wouldn't be full Roa, yeah.
You need 500 more gold. I think that the
I think
argument
it's
here,
okay.
here from your end, and this is just like a you end, right? Because you see them, right? Like, leave, You get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And this is not a cannon wave. Okay? If you stay and delete this next wave, that's going to create a better situation, right? Because, like, this, if Tristana walks back right now, she can just shove this and grab plates. Like, there isn't any loss. You suffer because of this, right? So, like, now, this next wave here is a cannon wave, right? So if you stay the one more wave with the mana that you have, you end up creating... You give yourself a bigger window to return to lane. Does that make sense? But
Red team
the
double
overall
kill.
reality... Like, and that's, like... That's a individual, like, reset timer thing. Like, the argument there is, we think Tristana is roaming, let's provide her with an option. By you getting off the map, Wingman, there is nothing else for her. There's no choices. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Now, the caveat is you don't have TP. Like, I'm okay. Like, this is minor, right? This isn't, like, a huge, egregious thing that you did. The much bigger thing is they have to respect the bot roam. The other thing, look at where top lane is, right? How is Maokai going to kill TK in this position? It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, this is on...
So we should also just be assuming, we should be tracking first off. We could also be assuming that Maokai is.
It's a possibility. We have to respect the threat, right? And
Yeah.
this is completely... We did not respect the threat.
Yeah.
And this is one of those, Dean, where it's like...
Yeah, I ulted trying to, like, save the play.
I understand that you're trying to save, but, like, the logic doesn't really make sense. You get what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And this is, to me, right, your tendency, where
Yeah.
you will jump before you think, and then it's like, oh shit, and you're already in process.
Yeah.
Alright, what's next here?
Holy shit, the silly anime in the background.
Yeah, it's the new Fate game.
Oh, Samurai Remnant, badass.
Yeah. This is all good. 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 We're not thinking about one thing. You know,
Yeah,
we're not...
turn. Brom ult.
Yep.
We don't respect the turn.
Nope. And we're also not respecting this guy.
Yeah.
This entire time. Let's go back. That's 45. There. Let me try to be all fancy with my squiggles here, right? There's the Tristana, right? It's 10:39.
I was gonna say we can't see your
I'm
squiggles.
not seeing squiggles.
You can't see my squiggles?
Yeah, do
Oh,
try.
it's
try-
I know why. They'll see it on that. I have to do this.
Yeah, change the stream to be the full display, not just the application.
Yep. Which for some reason takes forever for it to populate that as an option.
Yup. Gotta love Discord.
Yep. There we go. So we got my little squiggle, right?
Try it again.
You don't see the big ass blue circle?
I do not see a big ass blue circle. No.
God damn it.
Are you still on application?
There we go. There we go. You should see it now.
I see the bar. So if you draw, I can see it.
So you don't see the blue circle right about where my mouse
Oh,
is?
I see the on
Okay.
minimap. I see it.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
Okay,
So, like, it's at 10:36. When is the last moment we see them? 10:42.
Yeah. So we should be communicating that Tristana is MIA somewhere. Yeah.
Yep. And the longer that this goes on, that's 10 seconds already. It could be a reset, right? But we just need to mentally do the mental math of Tristana could be in a place, right?
Yep. Yeah, especially because we don't have
25
vision
seconds
river.
at this point.
Why did Batch not also drop a ward in river?
I don't know. I can't say.
Yeah.
Did he have another ward? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he
yes,
has
he does.
Because if we drop another ward by dragon right there, then we have better vision, and if we see Trist coming down, then we say, okay, we back the fuck off now.
Yep. And this is a flash into tower range. That's part of that too, right?
Yeah.
But this is a full minute,
Yep.
55 seconds. We haven't seen Tristana.
Yep.
And we're not accounting for that. You know what I mean? Like, there was...
Yep.
I know y'all, right? We didn't think at all that Tristana would be here.
Yep.
Now, if you said, and I'm not saying that this is, like, a good idea, if you say, we're going for this, there's a risk of Tristana can be here, we go anyway. That's a very different situation. You get what I mean?
But
Versus
that's not what happened,
what's happening. Now, let's watch this again from their perspective, right? Because that is the power of doing this in client, right? So, like we expected, right? It's a Tristana reset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tristana reset. We're speeding this up a little bit. Right? Tristana resets. Makes perfect sense, right? They got their full Kraken. Like, they need a reset for that. Like, that's cool. What ends up happening is they see this brewing bot. How did we not notice that?
Not notice what?
So this is also what another thing that happens with this is
She takes wave before she comes down.
takes
yeah.
wave before she comes down.
And we just like did not notice that at all.
Nobody noticed. There's no ping. There's no nothing. I don't think.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that doesn't mean I didn't call it out verbally, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
Oh, it's probably because I was
you were
back.
reset. You
I
were
was reset, but my camera wasn't on lane. I was probably in shop or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's part of how this happened is that we didn't see her show on the wave the wave mid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I want y'all to look at here, and this is what I want you to look at, because I know Wingman, who watched my stream, could tell you how many times I mentioned this in the stream. Look at the gold up here.
Yeah.
Right? That's them. That's y'all. And they have this many kills. They're only up 300 gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I know y'all felt like you were down in the fucking dirt.
Yeah, we definitely felt pressured to make a play.
And there isn't a need. It's something that I was saying to Wingman right before like we got started, which was because he also said in game 2 when he watched it back today, he was surprised at how little y'all were ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes both ways.
It does. It does.
And the more we can, like, not so much think about that perception and more think about our fight and how do we win it, the better. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you, again, it's one of those things, again, is if you look at our composition versus their composition, we can pretty much always find a fight.
Right. Hang on, I'll be right back. I gotta check. Get some.
You're good. And this leads directly into y'all conceding this dragon. You're feeling behind, you're feeling pressured.
Yep.
We give the dragon. I'm okay with this, right? Especially given where we are at this point in time.
Yeah.
This one is, to me, the least issue dragon, right? We make
First or second?
The second one. We make the intentional decision to concede this. Right? You didn't set up for it, right? We weren't in a position for it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is fine. Do I think that you could have set up for this? Do I think that you could have fought this and won? Absolutely, right? Look at what we want to do, right? We are playing this dominant bot lane, right? We have the Pantheon jungle. We have the Veigar for area control, right? What do they have that is going to make them win this Drake, right?
Right.
Not a lot. Like, just when it comes to actually getting into a space and controlling it, you have a significant advantage over them.
Right.
But at the same time, you can see this Drake. You weren't in position. You feel you're weak. Cool. Whatever. I think that's just top tower fallen next.
Yeah, I think the thing we're saying is we like, you know, don't panic, we scale well.
Yep. And that's fine. Like, there's no need to panic. There's no need to feel pressure. But it's also like your perception of you being weak and your perception of you being behind is leading y'all to avoid fights that could be like, you could have played this game the way that you did game 2, is I guess what I'm saying.
Which I agree with.
This makes sense. Like, they're in position on it, you're not. Like, that's all fine. Part of the reason that this game felt like y'all got nothing done is because you weren't looking to do anything. Because you felt that you couldn't do anything because of these early Tristana kills. I mean, Wingman's up. Like, legitimately. He's only down 500 gold right now. Wingman farms 9 CS a minute on Veigar this game and hits, like, one-shot status by, like, 22 minutes. Like, 6 minutes from now, Wingman hits 600 AP. This, you guys did this so well, right? So, like, this, I love this, right? Like, I absolutely love this, right? I'm very happy with this. We've recognized from before, Tristana likes to roam, right?
Right.
I don't know if y'all know about the Maokai, right? You see the Maokai, you see the Tristana moving. You and Wingman, you guys go, right? We're gonna counter this dive. This is smart. And to me, this fight right here, this should have signified to y'all that the game was not as it appeared. You get what I mean?
Yep.
Look at how much control you have here. Like, yeah, they get some shit, but you guys get the double kill. Not only that, what I want you to think about is look at how far away Wingman is. When the Herald goes down, look at how far away y'all are, and you win this. You get 2 kills out of this in exchange for the turret. Like, Wingman isn't even here yet. Like, arguably, we can talk about the execution. Like, you guys could have moved a little sooner, you know? Like, the moment that you see the Maokai top, like, you can move in this direction, potentially, right? But for the most part, you're strong. You're in a good spot. Like, this was played very well. And the reason that it worked is because once that cage was down, they couldn't leave the cage. They couldn't get to y'all, and Dan was able to follow up and CC them even more, so that they got hit by multiple Veigar Ws. You do want to lay in bed, love. This fight right here, this is one of the 3 good fights that you've made this game. This is a little scuffed though, so we're gonna go back to this one. if you compare these to what we remember about like some of the Game 2, Game 3 fights, right? This is much more reactive. This is much more stuff, right? We're in multiple places, right? We are not really sitting here thinking about exactly how we want to set it up. This is a reactive play to prevent third break, right? For one thing, look at this, right? We've got our three people here. And if we're in this position, right? Look at where Batch is. We have no support. Look at where Madness is. We have no AD carry. So we're setting up to start a 3v5. Because we know that they're all there. Because the Darius is here. And there are no TPs on the other team. But, like, we've been able to chunk people a little bit, right? We're able to go in, right? Like, Dean is about to die, but what do they have, right? Their engage ult is down, right? We're able to get another cage, right? We get all of this. If you think about this fight, right? This exact play lost us the game in Game 3, right? This kind of disjointed reactive fighting. However, in this circumstance, it should be a testament to y'all and should be a signal in your brain. Oh, wait, we're strong. Yep. You're ahead now.
Yeah, I think this fight, it told us, oh, the way we're playing this game is working. Is the way we kind of took it in the game. We were feeling confident. We were feeling good. Like, I think we were feeling confident in our patience. I think we just got too cocky in being patient.
That's fair. I think this is the way that I look at it, right? And this is just from talking with y'all. Patient isn't the right word that I would use to describe what I think y'all felt this game. Turtling is what I think y'all felt. That you needed to turtle up and not, like, and you can't make anything. You get what I mean? Like, yep. To me, if you're feeling patient and you're okay with patience, there is no pressure because you're awaiting the window that will come.
It really just came down to we weren't counting out our timers, and by the time we realized stuff was up, we were too late. It was all about the timers. That's why we were late to things.
This Baron here is risky as hell that they're about to do. This is risky as hell.
But they had, like, we had no vision on it, so we didn't.
That's what I mean. Like, and you guys just happened to go the other way. Like, this is ballsy as hell from them. It works, right? It absolutely works, but it is absolutely ballsy as hell. Because they're on it right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it works, but it shouldn't.
Yeah, so they're going to it right now. Or they're not. But still, this should not work. But it does. And that's sometimes what happens, right? Like, this could have blown up in their faces. We just didn't have the vision. Partly because nobody expects a 23-minute Baron.
Yeah.
And I'm just pointing this out just because this is more evidence to me, right? Look at how little damage Dan is taking here. He takes barely any damage from all of this.
Yeah. I think one of the things that Dan was commenting to us is that he felt like he had no impact in the game.
I don't feel that way at all about this. Partly because this is another thing, and this isn't... So this is higher level, if that makes sense. And I'm not expecting y'all to think this way, given some of the issues that we've had, right? But look at this. I can't draw well yet with this. We'll get it there.
Oh, it's summoner CDs?
No. What's missing here? to counteract this, right?
You're talking about like TP or?
Yeah, there is 0 TP, and you have 2 TPs.
So I think someone in load screen mentioned that. I can't remember who it was.
So this is the thing, right? And this is a real statement. And I'm not saying so much right this moment, right? But what you can do, right, is instead of Wingman or Dan being here, if you see Darius on the other side, knowing that Darius can't respond, you can just attack and have your 4v5 or 5v4. You might lose a tower, right? But you have the fight, you have the engage, you have the everything. Does that make sense? Like,
Yep.
to me, the fact that they don't have a TP is a clear mistake. Because they don't have the ability to respond to you. Not
Yeah.
only that, you can have Wingman or Dan matching the Darius, right? And if they wave clear really fast, right? Back off and then TP to the fight, you can then engage that way. And that's just not something that happened at all. Like, there's, I guess the thing that I with this game is there are so many opportunities for advantages that y'all have that just didn't happen. This is risky. We've talked about that. We're gonna trade a couple towers here. I think this is where we give them, like, well, you know, they take like 3 towers here. Dan lives. This was sick. Like, this was such a cool looking sequence here. Like, well played from both parties here. Just well played by both.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Jesus.
Yep.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
They're gonna get a tower here. Actually, we're gonna get mid tower here. Like, we handled their Baron really, really well. Like, really well. Alright, Wingman, this is, like, you do TP here, which I'm very, very happy for. And you TPing in, right, like, you have a feeling that something's about to brew. We're gonna get this tower.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And we're just in the driver's seat. Look at where they are. Okay. I know part of the issue that happens here. Dan has enough for his Sunfire. But is Sunfire worth the dragon? I don't think so.
In retrospect, no.
Right. Like, especially not in this position, right? Like, I can't say for sure. I'm not in comms.
Actually, he has TP and we have control. I think if we stay there and let him, immediately come back, he's only gone for 6 seconds.
That's true. We've got
I think if you
20
finish
seconds to Drake. This is what you were talking about, Wingman. And this is a weird one where, like, the sunk cost of burning the TP, right? Like, this is like, you should commit to being with the group because you TP'd, right? Like, we got there, we got the tower, right? We got control, and then you go back bot. Dan resets, and we've just completely given up the control that we had. Now, I want to say one thing here with this, right? This all makes sense, right? Especially like if our plan is to have Dan reset and then TP back in, right? And then we engage like through the river or something. I'm not a fan of it, right? But like if the idea is to back off, let them pile onto the dragon, and then we engage on top of them because we do have Panth ult up, we do have TK, right? We do have TK TP, and we have a ward in the pit. Right? Like a scenario of something like that, right? Where we're intentionally backing away to bait them into taking the Drake and then we collapse on them. That's an option, but that's not what we're doing, right? On top of it, like if Dan is wanting to reset here, why is he clearing the wave?
Yeah.
Like we're just delaying that reset even further.
Yeah, the issue is we're not calming a clear plan.
Yep, there is no plan. And they just get their third Drake for free when we had control of the space. Baron. I think we just get pinched here. So this is another one, Wingman, and this is not where it's like with the posturing you needed to be here a little sooner. But I understand you pushing the wave now.
Yeah, I wanted to avoid the edge a bit. Okay.
And by the time you're here, right, it's over. This is another one where with a slightly better plan, because they are here, right? This works out differently, right? So if we look back at it, we know that they can't send Darius, right? We can trade the bot tower, or two, potentially, right? For this Baron and 4 kills. Right? We've got War... Oh, where's War? It's blue. That's one thing. We don't have a great spot for Dan to TP to. Yeah. If we drop a ward, like Batch drops a ward for Dan to TP to,
Yeah.
we have a man advantage here that Darius cannot respond to. So this is, to me, this is another missed opportunity, and it goes wrong.
Yep.
But the one that I actually really wanted to pull up here, and this is what confused me the most, honestly, is you are down 6,000 gold right now, right? Yeah, 6,000 gold. And this is the best fight of the game.
I didn't realize we were down that much. Hit the what?
I'm playing a game right now as well.
Oh.
Overall, like, that's the best fight of the game. You close the lead by 3,000. You did that down 6,000 gold. I mean, Wingman is an absolute monster this game. Just, they're like, if you see that, right, this is a replicable opportunity that we could have been doing this entire game. And then Drake happens. What specific? Yep. Disjointed engage. Yep. The key thing from this one is just like, you had a lot of opportunities that y'all didn't feel that you had. And it's just due to perceptions. This is the one that I really want to spend a bunch of time on.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Fetch the rest of your
30
team.
seconds until
I'll
minions
wait.
spawn. Minions have spawned.
Let's look at this, because this is something that we should expect, whether or not, like, even though we get a kill out of this, right, we still should be expecting this. Our wave is shoving in, right? It's 235. Look at where Jarvan is, right? If we go back with our God mode, right? So he is right here. At 208. So he is going to look at his level 3. Gosh darn it, silly thing. But we're already shoving, right? Like, we can recognize that our wave is shoving. This is okay, right? Like, shoving the wave is not a terrible thing. We just need to be conscious of the jungle threat. Now, right here, the safest thing to do, really, is to hard shove the wave. Like, just delete the wave and get that cheater recall off. Because you know, right, like right here, that you're in such a position of danger. You are a relatively immobile juggernaut. Well, you are an immobile juggernaut. Like, that's the thing of the juggernaut class, is the immobility, right? Your wave is in a poor state, right? There is a world of this being frozen, potentially, if he plays it perfectly, right? Well, not really. The wave is too big for that, which is still a good thing in your favor. They wait for you to step up and commit, and you're doomed, right? And I think that there's a disrespect for that possibility. This works out in our favor, right? Like, the denial of XP is much higher on the Mordekaiser. Like, if you're going to trade 1-for-1, it's hard to do it better than this. I just don't think you need to trade 1-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of why this works so well bot lane, too, is the wave is shoving in, right? But it's not so big that responding is a bad idea. Like, if nothing else happens, right? If we don't go for this, we can hold the wave in the middle or slightly on our side with all of this. But we see the opportunity. And we're going to punish them for it because of how they played the wave, right? Like, if this comes legitimately from right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, this kill starts here, basically.
Yep.
Because now the wave is slow pushing out. This is where it begins. It just takes all of that thing to there. So now, what are they doing, right? They're slow pushing it. In this scenario, right? They need to be trying to delete this wave. Because the more that they allow Batch and Madness to control this, the more danger they are in. And what are they doing? They keep thinning the wave, but they keep letting it come over to them, right? So now this is freezable. And they're kind of screwed. If nothing else happens, right? They're kind of screwed. They have to put in a lot of resources and a lot of effort to do this, right? But Madness wants it a little closer before he true freezes it, which is fine. And now Dean's here, and they're in the perfect position to have something happen. And you are now aware that they don't know, which is amazing. And Declaration's June.
Yeah.
And this right here, okay, I gotta, because we're on film, right? This right here,
Holding the E was so good.
that's what makes Batch incredible. Is Batch does this really, really well. He does it on Nautilus too. And a lot of his champions is he holds abilities in anticipation of their actions, right? Which is something we all can learn from, right? It's something that makes Batch really, really good. And when he's on form and feeling himself like he was this game, that kind of shit, so beautiful to watch. And they're zoning Zeri off completely here. I don't think Zeri is even in XP range right now. And then as it crashes in like that, they just delete it, right? Great to watch. I think we should respect this dragon, right? The fact that we're resetting right here, right? Like, there's the possibility of them taking dragon. Not a big deal, right? It happens. But just we should acknowledge that. Yeah. Oh, and Declo just gets himself caught. Yep. Oh, this is another one of those lovely Darius ults. Nope. Yeah, this is another one where we're not expecting to have the Jarvan come top. Like, that's all this one is.
Yep.
We're up really, really far, and Jarvan happens to be there, and there's just no escape from that.
Galactic hyper barrier.
Yep.
Oh, this is where Wingman starts popping off.
Flammo torpedo. Explosive face melter. Turbo shock rockets.
Wingman played out of his mind this game. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, Lucian, like, Madness did a lot on the Lucian, right? But, like, without Wingman being such a strong carry this game goes very differently.
Yep. No, I think Wing played very, very well this game.
Yep, there's one. And first of all, I want to say, let's look at this, right? Because, like, we need to celebrate good things, right? What did we do? Here, legitimately. You shoved and roamed, but you did it on a cannon, like we were talking about in the last game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of, like, you want to reset on a cannon. The reason that you do that is exactly right here, right?
So he can't follow me.
He can't follow you. He's stuck here, or he loses the cannon, right? But it's also like, look at how far you are before he gets this wave gone, right? I think he believes you're resetting. Right? And but because he deletes it, his wave is gone. Now the wave is neutral and you've met in the middle. Let's see, how long has it been? You haven't even lost a single minion yet. Okay, Deklo's dead. You haven't lost a minion yet. You've lost 1 minion. 2, 3. Now because you're not back, right? Like, you lose this minion wave. But that's how big a window you have. And you get like, you end up coming back in time to snag this, right? Right.
Yeah, I think you were saying on stream I could have turned it. I was 2 minion blocked.
It's also cooldowns, like watching it here,
Yeah.
like being able to watch it. Like, I think that... Let's watch it.
And I was also low mana too. It just
Yep.
wasn't, it wasn't worth the risk against somebody that can auto attack me to death.
I think if you, yeah, this one is... No, that's your passive. So, if I look at it, right? Like, let's look at it in detail, right? Yeah, you can't. Like, you could keep
Nothing
going.
comes back
Like,
until
yeah,
now.
like, you could have kept running at him, potentially, and been stronger, but, like, this is fine. The biggest thing that you need to do right here is, I think you don't reset after this. Like, you need to reset right here, and you don't.
Yeah, I wasn't accounting for his TP.
Not only, like, it's also, it's like, this is okay. I have this issue too, where, like, I want to crash the cannon in before I reset, and resetting on the cannon is a generally good rule, right? Like, if I have cannons coming in, let me reset them, right? Like, this is just a improving at mid lane thing. You don't even go for this wave. You just reset immediately. Like, once you choose to let the Jarvan go, you kind of want to reset then and get your mana back.
Yeah, makes sense.
But this is the thing, right? Like, we're up 1,000 right now. We have made more activity happen this game than, the entirety of the first 20 minutes in the last game.
I think the biggest thing that benefited like our just confident playmaking was just the shift in mentality. Like the,
Yep.
hey, yo, fuck it, we're going in.
Yep. This was just another, like, we didn't anticipate the 4-man bot. That's what this is. We didn't expect the 4-man bot.
Yep.
And we get the response kill on the other side. I will say, Dan pretty manhandled Hexon A in all 3 games.
He does most of the time we play this team. He has a good read on Hexman and what he does.
We get the rift. This is good. And, like, yeah. We're gonna get a kill here. Where do we get this kill?
I think we collapsed in the rumble.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. Okay, I want to bring this up here. You know how we've been talking about a little bit about us not respecting roams and where people are? That's why Rumble dies here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fun bug.
Yeah, what? Okay, so that's not just my screen?
Nope, it's on my screen too.
Small indie company, by the way.
Oh, that's fun. What did I do? But like, if you see it here, right? Why is he on this tower when he doesn't know where y'all are, right? Like, there's nobody bot, right?
Yeah.
The inference should be that Rift.
Well, shit, we already we took Rift. We like he saw that we have Rift.
Yeah. So he goes for that one more plate kind of mentality, right? Where else
think
could
what-
you be? Where
Yeah.
else could you be? The safe play for Rumble here is to run to his Jarvan.
So what? Yeah, I was gonna say watching Tonka there too as well in the minimap. Like Tonka was probably commenting like, "Hey, I'm on his bot side. If they collapse on you, I can follow." But he didn't respect the fact that our bot lane was just not walking through our jungle. They just walked straight up the river.
Yep. Now I want to see. I'm going to kill this and come back because holy shit, this red is distracting.
Yeah.
Like they are not immune, and other teams are not immune to the things that y'all are doing, or like that y'all do. You know what I mean? Like other teams do it too.
Mm-hmm.
And it tends to be, in some ways, the team that does the least amount of these things is the one that wins. Okay, it's back. What the fuck?
Try turning off fog of war. See if that helps?
Nope.
All right. Well.
We'll deal. That's fun. Yay, bugs. I think it has to do with the Death Realm.
Oh, it has to be. Yeah. Those look like stuff on time effects or special effects.
So we walk into this in the same way that they didn't respect where we were beforehand. We didn't respect that they could be there waiting for us after. You know what I mean? We're just used to the idea of people conceding, and that's it. And that's what's there. Like we just looks like we didn't expect them to be waiting.
Yeah. We had no idea that there was like even a yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
This is the kind of thing. I'm not acting like it's easy. I fall prey to it all the fucking time. When we don't know where they are, like definitively, when we don't know where they are, we should anticipate them being where we least want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, this is just a smart, well-played dive. Like, well-played dive. Like, we played that really well. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, it's gone.
We did it, guys.
Yay. Yeah. Like, the moment that they reset, like, this is a thing we assume a lot of the time that towers are safety. This is not safe. In what world is this safe?
Yep.
You're gonna get... It's the kind of thing of like, okay, what are you trying to prevent? I'm trying to prevent them from getting plates. Well, they're gonna get plates and my death, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the most important kill of the game. This one right here. This one right here where I woke up my wife.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
I can't take credit. That's all Dan.
You hit it. Whether or not... No, you're the one... Like, you may have coordinated it, right? Like, he may have coordinated it. You did your job, you responded, right?
Gosh, I mean, he set that up for me, and I was happy to finish it off.
Yeah.
I want to give him the credit for setting it up.
It's a very well played. Very well played. Okay. I'm so happy with
did
this
we
one.
skip? Darius is alive and Mordekaiser's dead here. What happened?
1 for 1 in the top lane.
Hyper barrier.
Oh, we skipped to later? Or what?
Yep, I skipped a little bit.
Okay.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Yep. Because we have the dive. This is the next kills after the dive. We have a mutual kill. Is what happens here. Oh no, mutual kill here. Tyler gets that, and then right before the Drake, I think, yeah, Dan gets solo killed here by the Darius. I'm not exactly sure how. I think there's a... I'm not at 1 for items. I think there's a better build here than the Riley Switchmaker on Mordekaiser. Yeah, Dan gets 3 is what happened. And there's just... Yeah, there's no vision. Like... Yeah, there's just no vision. We don't... And there's nothing else up on the map. And Dan's the only one on the map, right? So, like, if we pause it here... and we look at blue, right? Well, actually, let's back it up a little further, right? So here, right? Where else could they go? You know? Dragon's not up for a minute, right?
Mhm.
Rift, there's no Rift for a minute and a half. There is nobody in mid lane. There is nobody in bot lane, right? There's just this, right? Like, so when we're in these situations where we're the only one on the map, we need to expect and anticipate that everybody is going to be making a beeline for us, which is exactly what happens, right? They start dueling. Jarvan's here. Rumble is moving. And there's nobody in any other position to be able to, like, take advantage of this at all.
Zap action.
And they're going to take top tower. Like, Darius is going to take top tower for this. However, y'all have the right read. Darius has no TP. Darius cannot respond to this. So what are we doing? We are here. We are in control of the river. This right here, this is being in control. They can't do shit. And we also know, right, where does he do it? Right. That Maokai ult is down, right? They blew it. So now they don't. So now their only engage is Jarvan. They have no other engage tools other than that. So we're in this space. We see the Jarvan. So we feel confident and we feel in control. This right here, we're 20 seconds away, right? We don't need to be doing anything. We don't need to be chasing after them. Because we are in this vicinity, right? Now, I want to look and see exactly how this fight goes, right? Because we clean 4 here without nothing. Without any response, right? Darius isn't there. Deklo goes bot.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
They're trying to flank, right? What do? They came into us. And they died for us, right?
Yeah, a CC
This-
Zeri is not an ADC.
Well, this right here, this is literally what setup is for. Like, I know we've talked a bit about, like, being unsure of what to do once we're actually in place. This is it. Like, I might feel like you're wandering around kind of aimlessly. Let's watch this from their end, right? From the blue side perspective, okay? So they come around, they have no vision, right? They do not know where you are. And they believe you that you don't know where they are, right? Like, and you don't, right? They show up, but now you're just able to fight. They walked right into you. Jarvan doesn't get his engage off. Because they don't have any idea of where you are, what's going on, or anything. So you're able to start the fight on your terms as they're still gathering information. And you just win. And now you get the Drake, right? You got 3 kills and the Drake. And the reason for that is 2 things, right? literally two things. One, right here, right? No, little early. Right about here, where Deklo blows the ult, right? When Deklo blows his ult, that's one of their primary teamfight tools gone. And then the other thing is you control the space. That's it, right? They can't do shit.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And they run right into you.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Kind of an int considering they see me there clearing their ward.
Right. But people feel pressured to contest dragon. Right? Like, this is replicable. This happens all the time.
Also, I just realized Zeri flashed into my laser, which is a little funny.
This is how we won so many games off Anarchy. In Anarchy, to use that example for Wingman, right, is we did this. We would get into a space, control the space, and then wait for them to come to us. You can do that. So the alternative, right, what happens if they don't go? They're going to show on a lane somewhere. They're not going to just sit in a bush. You know what I mean? Like, if they start going, like, say they all decide to go mid for mid tower, then you can make that decision, right? We get some towers here. What happens here?
Guard.
Yeah, this was the one time, one of the two times this entire game where they got their fight. I actually think that this is the only time the entire game where they get their fight. They get they layer the Rumble with the Jarvan ult and the Mount Rail. This is the only time. And Madness is just dead. This is another thing, though. We've talked about this, too. What do they get off this? They get a tower. I think. Yeah, they get a tower. This is smart, though. Like, they use this, getting these two kills to get to drop the rift and be able to pressure the tower. And I think they get this one. Either way, you want to, if you fight, you want to get the fight to be able to obtain something. You get what I mean? And this fight, they get the tower, right? Like, the fight serves a purpose. They're not just getting gold off of it. I want to point out here a thing, right? Which is, they are even with y'all. And I believe, given the way that this game is going, that y'all feel way stronger. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're even. Same thing last game, right? You're actually even in terms of gold, and you felt way, way, way behind. Not a lot happens here. We pressure mid. Alright. Okay, this one is pretty simple. Y'all do this very, very smart thing. You tag the Darius. Darius was in a space that he shouldn't have been. And you get the dragon off of it. Like, this is a part of setup, right? If we look at the timer, right? When this all goes down. Where are we? We are in the river. We are as a group. We are ready to react, right? We see the Darius on top of our ward. Darius is alone, and they are not in a position to like have everybody here, right? Like, they don't have their full combo. Rumble isn't here, right? So we make the decision to go on the Darius. You guys are already moving in this direction before Dan gets here, right? Like, you guys have made this decision. You've responded first. Death Realm locks him in, right? And you win it. That's the only kill, right? But that wins you the entire Drake. Because now you just move in, you take control of the space again, and they concede, right? They know that they have a numbers disadvantage. They know that for sure. They know you're there, and they just respect your space and let you have the Drake, right? This is what setup should look like, right? We are in the place, now we are doing something. Then the Drake. It's that in-between that we're trying to define things. And some games, like this one, you seem to do it kind of intuitively, not even really thinking of it as part of that setup window. You get what I mean? But, like, in this game, we're actually setting up, and we're using that window. I just don't know if we're necessarily consciously doing it. And the goal is to start to be able to consciously use that window. Let's look at this Baron setup. Oh, this is where this fight, Madness was getting Smurf accusations. Okay, this is smart. Like, kinda actually smart. You're staying together, right? Look at where everybody's body is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Batch called that because he saw a flank. He didn't want to see a flank. That was a really good call by him.
Yep, and they can't extend in, right? Because if they extend in or overextend up, y'all can collapse back, right? Like, this right here. I'm going to play this sequence again, right? This is another example of good objective setup and what should happen around an objective, right? We are here. Right? The Maokai ult is down, right? Was anybody in position to deal with the Maokai ult? No. Rumble's here, right? Jarvan's here. Maokai ult's down. That's one of the 2 tools that they have to start fights. So now everything is about the Jarvan because the Maokai ult is down. We retreat back to avoid the Darius flank and the Jarvan flank. Like, this is really good. And now you're in control. They've blown their shit. They can't do anything, right? Now it's on Jarvan trying to find and engage into the 5 of you. Because they blew their stuff trying to chase in, right? You handled their threat appropriately, and now you're in control. You have the distinct advantage. And now they have bunched up. They walk into the Rel combo. And they just die for it, right? And we get Baron, right? 4 kills and a Baron. Because, and we got that because we walked up the river.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, this is... Dean was a little caught out. That's okay. I'm trying to think of how we get Soul here. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about. This is a split pushing opportunity. Okay? This is easier to execute, right? Dan is already in position here, right? Like, Dan is pressuring this turret with the Baron, right? We're not having to wait on waves, and there's this objective coming up, right? In 50 seconds. The wave is up there. This is when we're initiating a split push. We're already there. We're coming down the river, right? In my opinion, you guys need to shove this wave. Like, right now, I'm not sure why you were backing off. I'm sure some of it has to do with Dan's health, because Dan's resetting. That's why. Okay. You could have kept this going by staying in the mid lane rather than diving off, right? Like, if we look at how the waves are synced up, we could have continued to keep this going. This is fine. Again, no TP on Darius. They are opting to give this away. By Darius being in the top lane, he is telling his team, we are not fighting Soul. We're not going to do it. That's what he's saying. How do they win this without Darius?
They can't.
Right. And there's no TP threat because Darius doesn't have TP. They just have to concede. Like, there is no other option, and they get a singular tower from it. Because Darius went top lane. This angle here that they get y'all on, this is just beautiful from them.
That was us not respecting the Maokai again.
Yep. And what's interesting about it too is looking at the vision in hindsight, right? Is you see them too.
Yeah, we just we're like, oh, they're over there, but we just didn't connect with us. That they can Maokai ult us from off screen.
Yep. And that's okay, right? Like, this is okay. You get what I mean? This is okay. Another thing, split push. Look at where y'all are. Look at where Dan is, right? Right now, the next waves, it hasn't spawned, but the waves are relatively synced, right? Which is what we want when we're split pushing, right? This wave here that we're going to be doing things to, and this one. We also know that even with this hull breaker, right, the Mordekaiser can push into the Darius, right, and keep the Darius occupied. We might reach a stalemate, but then we win out because we have the Lux and the Lux poke, right? Yeah, this should just be kind of reading warning bells, because y'all are going to shove in here, and that you know that they are all over there, right? This should read warning bells. Yeah. And this is another, like, this is the other thing, like, if you're going to stay here, Wingman, in this scenario, look at how, like, this is the issue, right? Is look at where Batch and Leona are, or Batch and Dean are, versus where you are. Like, they have, there is no protection for you. Like, I know y'all were anticipating the fight, but our positioning just gave them access to our carries.
Yeah.
And then the exhaust on Madness just kind of turns it. And there's, like, they played this really well, and it was disrespectful. And then, I think Dan dies here, yeah. Dan does, I don't think Dan expected to lose the duel. They take mid tower, they take 2 towers off of it, but they lose the game for it. Because, like, well, we have 2 more fights. Alright, let's look at this one. Because we have some close fights. Okay, this one, I remember this one. This one was all about target selection. We weren't finishing anybody off.
Also, I whipped my laser and hit nobody with it.
That happens, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a real one, right? Like, that laser changes it. Can we talk about how incredible Madness is staying in the fight and queuing people over the wall with this amount of health?
Yeah.
But let's watch it. I want to watch this again, right? Because like, stacking here in preparation for the Baron makes sense, right? But this is the thing, though. Like the laser misses, that's actually really big, right? The laser missing is big.
And for binding.
Yep. But if we pause right here, right? And I'm not trying to say it's easy, right? Like I'm watching it and it's hard to do, right? But like look at how low all three of these people are.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them have died. So
That's really just mechanics by me. That initial engage should have killed all of them.
yep.
Red team triple kill. Red team's turret has been
That, and then this is the this one. Let's look at this one. Because we had two where we had it was like 4 for 4 kind of things. Okay, this one I remember. They dive so hard forward. The issue that happens here, this kind of shows up again in game 3. Okay. Like I respect the turn here because I know that y'all are going for the turn, and I respect that completely. I think you don't need to start this. I think the decision to start is unnecessary. And that as the TP comes, we need to pull off completely because we're stacked up for their engage. Like, look at how much, as a result of this, like, health Wingman has lost. Like, we do end up resetting it, but I think that, like, from this point, right, if we just move into this space, because if we look at their vision, right, they'll see us. Like, they see us, but that's all, right? They don't have vision on the... Well once we clear this cloud, once we clear this control ward, that's all we need to do. And they will fight as a result of that. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So rather than needing to start it and then turn, we don't even need to start it in the first place. And we can just fight. And then this is the other thing that happens, right? Is watch how this fight gets divided. They divide this into 2 halves. Right? Rel goes in. You missed the laser again, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm jumping the gun on some of those.
Yep.
Need to wait for hard CC. Oh, I missed the binding too.
Yep.
At least I get this area at the end.
kill.
Yep.
Aced.
And then this one, right, like
Audacious bravery shield.
this one we chunk them out. And we play it smart.
Get the laser properly, waiting for CC.
Yep. And that's just good. Very well played, guys. Hopefully that was informative, right? Like just seeing like what we actually did and what we did well. I hope that was informative.
Yeah. No, I think it was.
I think in some ways you guys played game 3 even better. Even though y'all lost, I think you played it even better.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
There's
They also
things that we
played
did
it
in game
better.
3 that I really, really like that we did, and there's things in game 3 that I really, really hate that we did. I think we just needed to be more patient overall. Like, again, not falling down the trap of like, oh, patience is in not being proactive, but is in like, okay, slow down on our plays, like our macro.
Slow down on our thought process. Patience is not like patience to me is feeling free of pressure.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it, right?
Yep. I felt like we were constantly very pressured to do something on the map. Like, in general.
that's and that to me is a thing to be very worried about, right? It's like, why am I feeling pressured?
I think we just like had a lot of pressure on ourselves overall to like be a top tier team and be OL.
You want me to? I'm gonna be a bit rude about this. That window's passed now.
No, it is.
You
It
are a top
absolutely is.
team. I want to be clear, right? There's two parts to this. The danger is the perception. God damn it. Okay, I guess I'm not gonna get game 3. It's not loading right now.